Hey everyone, it's Desiree, and I am here with a really special hop with Scrappy Tails, and this is to bring about awareness for breast cancer. So I do hope that you'll hop along with us to see all of the other beautiful creations created by our designers here for this hop. This stamp and die set are very special. It was designed by Sabrina with Scrappy Tails, and it is a die for the ribbon, and then the sentiments are the stamps that fit within the ribbon. And all of the proceeds, if you purchase this set, are going to go to some local hospitals for the care, for the research of patients within these locations and organization. You can see here I'm starting out by creating my backgrounds. Now I am using my Distress Oxide in picked raspberry, kitsch flamingo, and aged mahogany. So the kitsch flamingo and the pink and the picked raspberry are going to be for the ribbon. When I saw this set, and when I think about what friends of mine and people that I know have gone through for breast cancer and any cancer, is the chaos. And that's why I went with an ink smushing technique for these backgrounds. We have just these clouds going on these panels, and the paper that I'm using is Bristol vellum cardstock, and I'm going to add some splatters to each of them just to add a little bit more texture. For these two panels, I will use the ribbon die. It is a two-part die, and for the what I'm going to call the cloud, the background, I'm using the lighter shade of pink, the kitsch flamingo, and for the outline of the ribbon, I'm going to use the picked raspberry. I'm going to run them through my die cutting machine, and I do apologize for this screen. I am still trying to work with my phone that I film with and this awesome mat that I love working on, my glass mat. It's funny, this one gives me problems. I can get my black one to work. So, you know, it's a process. It's a process. Once I have these die cut, I'm going to pull out my foundry waxes in gilded. Now, this is a wonderful product. I keep playing with it. I have found that a little does go a long way. The thicker you put it on, the better result that you get. And what you want to make sure is when you're pulling it out of the container, you want to make sure that you only put out a little bit because it will dry very quickly. So you don't want to waste too much of that product. It does clean up very well on all surfaces. Once I have that on the outline part of the die, I'm going to heat set that, and that's when this foundry wax just absolutely comes to life, and I thought it really pulled out the ribbon even more. I'm going to use my liquid adhesive to adhere this over the top of the base of the ribbon, and you can just see faintly the two contrasting of those colors. The panel that I'm going to use for this to sit on is a piece of watercolor panel, watercolor cardstock. It's Canson XL watercolor paper, and there you'll see why I chose that instead of the Bristol. The sentiment that I chose is warrior. When I think of my friends and those that I know that have this and go through these processes that you have to go through for this, you are a warrior. And you are definitely a survivor when it comes through that. So I thought warrior was very appropriate. I did stamp that with clear ink and then heat embossed it in gold and added a little bit of the kitsch flamingo to the background of that as well. I'm using the aged mahogany now, and I'm using that on the glass mat. Now, when you do an ink smushing technique on glass, surface, it's going to look watercolory. That's a technical term. It's not going to have that full effect when you use a silicone mat like I did previously. It's not going to be too blotchy. It's going to blend just a little bit more. And that's the look that I was going for. Now you can see you can get some blotches when it comes to your glass mat, but you really only go down once and come back up. If you keep going down into that ink on the glass mat, it'll look even more watercolor-y. It'll give you a more watercolor effect. How's that? Once I have that done, I'm going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to get my standard A2 size card base ready, and that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and this will be a top folding card. Now with this panel, I did cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm putting that directly onto my card base. I did use my U-line 2-inch film tape. It's a very strong, unforgiving tape. Meaning once you touch something, it's there. It's very difficult to pull it apart. But when I use a lot of water, especially in the ink smushing, it does flatten out that card. It removes the warping that does occur. I attached my sentiment with brads, you know, to just make that a permanent type look. I'm going to use my double-sided foam squares to prop this ribbon up in the center of this card. And then once that's placed, I'm going to add some pearls. Again, you know, when I think of this, those that had this challenge and this process, they went through it with grace and elegance. So to add that to this as well, it's just something that I thought about when it came to this awareness. So again, I do hope I will have the link to the next person down below. Please hop along to see all of these beautiful creations and designs that people have come up with featuring this stamp and die set. And again, remember, if you should choose to purchase this, the link for this set will be down below, and all of the proceeds will go to the local hospitals for care, research, and more for this, so that we can beat this disease that affects so many. If you have any questions, please leave those down below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Everyone, enjoy, take care, stay safe, and if you are someone that is experiencing this, my thoughts and prayers go out to all of you, and I am in awe of your courage. Take care, everyone, and I will talk to you in the next one. Till then.